What's up, AVNation? On the next episode of the AVApps show, we'll be checking out the Extron Control App, and I'll be riding shotgun with my homegirl, Victoria Ferrari, so you do not want to miss it. Special bonus, stick around for the entire episode, and you'll find out how to get a free license for the Extron Control App. We'll see you.
The network for the AV industry.
What are you listening to?
This
is AV.
This
is AVNation.
This is AVNation.
Hello, AVNation. It's your boy HiPhi, the AV professional, also known as Phillip Cordell, Director of Engineering here at M3 Technology Group. Welcome to another fantastic episode of the AVApps show. Riding shoddy with me today, my girl, Victoria Ferrari. Say what's up, Victoria.
What's up, everyone?
All right. So today we're going to be looking at a pretty cool app. It's solid. I'll just go ahead and throw that out there from the set. It's solid as a rock. Today we will be looking at the Extron Control App. Pretty straightforward name. What do you think about that name, Victoria?
I think the name says it all, you know?
It really does, right? I mean, that's it. It's a control app. There's really no reason to get super funky with the naming convention, and I appreciate that. It does what it says it's going to do. So let's take a quick look at this app. It is native to the iPad. There is not an iPhone version, but that's okay because it works exceptionally well on the iPad.
It's coming out supposedly in November for the phone and Android.
Phone and Android. You heard it here first. Big news. Pretty cool there. So, you know, I'm a programmer by trade, a couple different languages. And the GC3, the kind of global configurator language, I appreciate because of its simplicity. You know, it's really easy to jump right into and to make things happen. And this app is no exception. In looking at the app, it can pretty much exactly mimic a TouchLink touch panel should you have one of those in the system. And it makes it just super, super easy to take the design that you've already got and translate it directly over to the iPad. And so I'm really a big fan of that I don't have to redesign the GUI or start from scratch or really mess around too much with a whole different programming file in order to get this thing up and running. Have you seen it? Have you played with it? I know you had mentioned just offline that you've got a big job coming up where you guys will be throwing this thing out.
Yeah, I think it's really powerful. The fact that a user could have a wireless control panel right in their room, and it's on an iPad. An interface that a lot of users are comfortable with. A touch panel on a wall can be a little scary to some users, especially executives, but everybody knows what an iPad does and what you're supposed to do with it, and they're much more, they'd be much more wanting to, actually go up to it and touch it. The other thing that seems cool about it is that not only can it be used as a wireless controller in the room and mimic the control touchpad, but that it has the ability to also switch between rooms and gives the user, a little bit of a troubleshooting device to, switch between different rooms and remotely access those rooms. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the ease with which you can switch between systems, you don't have to kill the app, you don't have to restart it in a different mode or a different, a different configuration. You basically just hit the switch rooms button. And that really is pretty powerful because if you're a higher ed tech manager and you're bouncing around from room to room, getting the classroom set up in preparation for the next set of instructors or whatever, they really seem to have those folks in mind and have streamlined that process considerably. Not just the control of the rooms, but then the management of those systems after the fact. And that's a beautiful thing. What I will say, and I'll just throw this out there, is that much like most of Extron's products, it's got a very industrial feel. Take that how you want, So you're not necessarily going to get the super high speed, glossy, I hate to say state of the art because it does. They made a conscientious effort to upgrade their graphics in the past few years, and that certainly shows. But again, I appreciate the fact that much like everything that I've really dealt with Extron, it's really solid and it's very intuitive to use. So whether that's a cross-point switcher or that's the Extron Control App, it just makes sense for me when I jump in there how to use it, how to make it work, how to make it do what I need it to do. And that's particularly imperative when you're under a time crunch, because as I mentioned, if you've got instructors that are barreling into the rooms ready to get their classes off the ground, it's important to be able to jump right in and be able to make it happen.
Yeah, and speaking in a higher ed application, you may not have the same person in the room that's going to be controlling that room every time. So it should just be easy. It should be simple. And the industrial field, that's fine. I mean, a lot of times the client doesn't want the button to spin around and jump off the page, especially in corporate applications. They just want it to work. And you wouldn't believe how many times I go into a meeting with a potential customer and they're like, can you just sell me something that works? I'm like, yeah, that's a good goal to have. So I think Extron has always proven to be a leader in what they do, and their products are just solid. So I'm looking forward to implementing it. We've done a couple of times before, but particularly this is my job, and so both the customer and I are looking forward to getting this product in.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Real quickly, a couple of the features that stuck out to me that I appreciate: the fact that even after the app is closed, when you reopen it, it can jump right back in. It picks right back up from the last session. I think that's a beautiful thing. There's an auto lock override so that your iPad's not locking up on you just by default, going into power save mode, in between uses, because it could be, 3 minutes before you need to interact with the iPad again. It could be a half an hour or an hour before you need to change sources. And so the fact that it allows you to kind of keep that from happening really shows, again, that they put some thought into how this app would best function in our environment and the ways that we need to use it. Because honestly, I was and kind of am, although not nearly as much, just a huge skeptic of using iPads as your control surfaces, because it's a third-party piece of hardware. It's not natively integrated with your Extron system, with your other manufacturer's systems. But probably more so than some of the other apps. This one makes it feel a lot less like, hey, this is just some app thrown onto an iPad, as much as this is another user interface integrated into this system. And I appreciate that.
That's a good point, and I like the fact of the lockout feature. Does it also lock out like the other apps on the iPad so that if the user goes and touches it, they're not going to open something else or mess anything up?
That's a fantastic question to which I do not have the answer, but it's something that I hope it does, but it wouldn't surprise me if it doesn't. I mean, you never know. Let's say if I were in a pro audio environment or something, and needed to get to my Allen and Heath, faders and mixers, then perhaps that would still be an option. But that's a great question, Victoria, and thanks for that.
Well, I know you can do it through Apple. There's a setting where you can make it, like the default app to have it only open there. But I was just curious if Extron does it through theirs. We'll find out the answer.
Yeah, we absolutely will. You know what? How about next time we hit a show, we're going to drop that in there. Yeah, it's going to be good. So, Extron, known to me, it's kind of like a gray steel look. It's kind of got that gray steel look. Victoria, do you have a blue steel look?
I don't know. No.
Oh, it wasn't.
Yeah, you're much better at it.
That's what I practice. That's what I do at night after work.
That's why we can't record at night. It all makes sense now.
Yeah, that's the problem. Too busy prepping my blue steel. And again, stoked that Extron has got, has kind of made their imprint on our industry with that, I say gray steel. I know it's got a name, that kind of forged gray Extron look. And they found a way to carry that over from the hardware into the software, into the applications. And that's, I agree with your earlier statement that it's okay if the button doesn't look like it's about to catch on fire after I press it. I just want it to work. And that is absolutely something that I've been impressed with that this app does every time. So there you have it. Let's, how about we rank this thing on iPads? Let's see, if you were going to rank this out of 1 to 5 iPads, how many iPads would you give it?
I would give it 4 iPad Airs and an iPad Mini.
Ooh, that's I love that. That's like 4 and a quarter, 4 and a half.
4 and a half.
4 and a half. All right. If I give it 3 of the gigantic iPad Pros, is that like a 5? I don't know. I'm going to go with, I was actually thinking the same thing, 4.5 iPads. You know, the app does everything that I would want it to do, that I would expect it to do. I wouldn't mind having a little bit more control over the graphical functionality. And I know that is, you know, some functionality of GUI configurator. You do have a lot more leeway now than you used to. But yeah, I'd set it right there at 4.5 iPads and even iPad Pros. I mean, those things are big. You know what the really cool part about this app is that
what's that?
For viewers of this show, if you are to reach out to our very own producer, George, and hit him up at george@avnation.tv, he can hook you up with free licenses for just a limited number of these Extron Control licenses, so that you can play with it, you know, at your own shop or at your own house, and figure out if this is the product that might work its way into your lineup.
No way. Does a host get one? Can I get one?
You'll have to talk to George. I don't know. You know what he made me do to get it? He made me give him blue steel. I thought that was weird. But I was like, okay, if that's what it takes. So I broke it out for George because I care. And so, yeah, I'm sure, Victoria, people kind of know you. You're kind of a big deal in the industry. So something tells me you will have no problem getting your hands on one of these things.
Sweet.
Yep. So there you have it, AV Nation. Another episode of the AV App Show in the can. Victoria, where can they find you on the interwebs?
People can find me on LinkedIn by Victoria Ferrari. I work for Synergy CT. And you can also find me on Twitter, Victoria0429. I have accounts on Facebook and Google, but those are my secret accounts. And, you know. So.
All right. Dark web. Talking dark web. All right. You can find me at theavprofessional.com. You can find me on Twitter at _AV_pro. Find me on my YouTube page, youtube.com/highfidelity, HiPhidelity. And of course, you can find both of us here and many other great shows and great hosts on AVNation.tv. So there you have it. For all the haps on the latest apps, check us out in the AV App Show. We'll see you next time.